What's up, guys? Welcome to the RSTS review series, where I'm gonna review some shit. And I wanted to start with probably my favorite independent wrestling show of all time. It really is, and it's probably just behind Dream Slam is probably my favorite show of all time. Even it's just great, and it's just an awesome show. I mean, 5 4-star matches, and it's a tournament, and it's probably one that not a lot of people have, they may have heard of, but they haven't seen. And I've seen a lot of, of this tournament from this year being reviewed, but I haven't seen anybody really review this. This is the WXW 16 Karat Gold 2008 tournament, and I'm specifically going to be reviewing Night 3. First of all, let's just get that the crowd is unreal for this whole entire show. Have you ever seen a WXW show? The crowds are just ridiculous. They're just chanting the whole entire time, to the point of it even getting annoying sometimes, but you gotta love a lively crowd. Second of all, the story behind this whole show is just great. The tournament, the tournament matches play into the other matches. They add, to the big finale, the finals, and it creates a really good story. The story has a very good flow and vibe to it. But let's start. The opening match, WXW 16 Karat Gold Tournament semi-final match, Bryan Danielson versus Chris Hero. This is just an absolute technical war between two of the best independent workers on the independent circuit at the time, two of the best wrestlers in the world at the time. I mean, Danielson at this time was probably Germany's most hated foreigner. He just got booed. Everyone hated him. It was like heel Danielson Ring of Honor, but even blown up bigger, and just he played the crowd like no other. Like the story in this match, storytelling in this match is great. And Germany's most loved foreigner at the time, probably most loved wrestler at the time. He's probably the most hated and loved wrestler. Just Chris Hero, man. WXW just loves Chris Hero, and the heat for this match is just unreal. You just feel the hatred of the crowd had for Danielson, and just how much they loved Hero and how much they just wanted him to win. And he actually won 2007's against Ares. And they even though he won, they still just seemed like wanted him to win again, and they just wanted. It's basically like feeding Danielson to the sharks here. They wanted Danielson, they wanted Danielson's blood, and they went as far as even wanting Danielson to die and Hero to break Danielson's arm with their chants. They were chanting, die Danielson, die, and break his arm, and even breaks it out of place. He pops his doesn't break out of place. He pops his shoulder out of place during the match. Danielson does, or at least if he didn't, he sold it so well that it looked like he actually did. He had a referee have to come over and pull it back in. This match is just ridiculous, just technical masterpiece. Hero bled a little bit, so they wanted Danielson's blood, but they got Hero's instead. And they delivered a wild roller coaster of just a technical match. He turned into just a stiff war by the end of it, and it's obvious Danielson can play a dick extremely well. If you've ever seen Bryan Danielson match, he can play a dick just extremely well, and he was perfection here, just flipping off the crowd, so they go fuck themselves. They start, getting in between the ropes, not allow the match to go on, just sitting there taking his time, pissing the fans off. And Hero was just a clear-cut favorite by nearly almost everybody in the audience. And I cannot express enough just how well these two played their roles and how hot the crowd just really was for this match. The crowd was just on fire the whole night. But there's this unbelievable roar about this match, and just they had the crowd just completely in their hands from start to finish. It was just they just crafted something truly special here. And I'm not going to run the finish for anybody who hasn't seen it, but you'll run if you go on with this review. Let's just say it's an absolute classic with just, for me at least, just an absolute classic match. It was just a brilliant finish. One of the best openers ever, in my honest opinion. I cannot express how great this match really was, especially the storytelling in it. This is how you tell a story. If you want to show wrestling how you tell a story using your in-ring work, this is how it is. I think it's on the level of Bret Owen, honestly. I think it's that good. 4 3/4. This the opening match of the show was 4 3/4. They went 37 minutes. It was just ridiculous. Just ridiculously good. Just, the storytelling in this was just fantastic. Just tremendous. Just, the match just through the roof. It was a little slow in parts, but, going 37 minutes, I mean, just a technical masterpiece. I honestly think it's one of Danielson's best matches, one of Hero's best matches in their entire careers. You know, I actually probably would have that match, maybe even in my top 10 matches of all time. It was really that good. And yeah, I've covered 5 minutes talking about that match. Let's move on. Doug Williams, Mark Stone versus Emil Sitoci and Jimmy Jacobs. You know, this was pretty good. You know, Williams and Stone had a really good English style going. You know, they're both English style based technicians, and they showed here. They had, you know, good suplexes, uppercuts, knees. You know, Sitoci and Jacobs had never teamed, but they held their own with the Brits. They did a good job, and it shows really. This match right here shows really how good the show was. When just a good match like this, which would be a really solid match on a show for like Evolve or, you know, a show like that, the Willany, is the second worst match on the card. Not really much to say here. 3 and a 4, nothing really big. Match 3, 2008 WXW 16 Karat Gold semifinal match. Bad Bones versus RS. This is a great match. This is like the Battle of the Bulls right here. They just went all out. It got a little slow in the middle. I gave this 4 and a 4 the first time watching. I dropped the rating to 4. You know, Bad Bones is basically Germany's version of Samoa Joe, and then, you know, he looks like he'll kill you. And he had a lot of cool moves. I know a lot of people hate on Bad Bones now, but he was pretty good here, and he was very good against Aries. This is probably one of the best. You know, Aries from Chikara fame. But this is where he got to start. This is where he got big. This is, you know, this is his promotion. He was the champion. This is where Swiss Money Holding start. You know, with him and Castagnoli before they even had it. They had the BDK and Chikara and stuff. So, you know, if you want to see Aries in a different element, this match right here, you know, 4 stars, great, hard-hitting stuff, a little slow, but they just, you know, just the last 5 minutes are great. They just unloaded on each other. Just a great match from start to finish. Really good stuff. So this show's already got in the first matches 2 4-star matches. So, I mean, you knew you were getting something special after seeing that. It's probably the best Aries match I've seen, too. Besides for maybe a few of his matches, besides for the finals in 2007, 16 Karat Gold, which was another 37 minutes, not as good as first opening match, but still, I think they gave that like 4 and a 4. So, Chuck Taylor versus Taiji Ishimori, match number 4. This was really good for being short. It was a really good short athletic match. It was like under 10 minutes, but just a really strange finish. You know, I mean, that's not what, I don't think that's what they were going for. Because after the match, Ishimori just started slapping Taylor in the face, either trying to wake him out or because he was pissed. I'm pretty sure he was pretty mad because I'm pretty sure he told Taylor, "Fuck you," afterwards. Because, you know, he run the finish. It wasn't supposed to end there. He just didn't kick out. You know, Bryce Remsburg didn't even want to hit the 3, but then he hit 3. He's like, ring the bell. I think Taylor got knocked out. Hopefully someone will do an interview with Taylor so we can figure out what the hell actually happened there. But, you know, always popular Bryce Remsburg is on this show, too, obviously. So that's always pretty cool that he got to, you know, referee in Germany. Taylor really hung well with Ishimori. They had a really good match for, you know, under 10 minutes. It's, you know, it's one of Japanese rising stars versus one of America's rising stars at the time, and, you know, 2 3/4. It's the worst match on the show, but, you know, it's under 10 minutes, and I don't even think it had the finish it was supposed to have. So, I mean, that's still pretty good. We have an elimination tag match: Absolute Andy PCO versus Big Van Walter and Marc Slater versus Farmer Joe and Mon Von Kunder, who plays a gay guy, versus Revolution Purple. You know, this was pretty good. You know, it started out really, really good, and then just ended in a complete mess. Last 6 to 8 minutes really hurt this one. It was well on its way to 3.5, even 3 3/4, and just the last minutes just take away. Just the first 2/3 of it, you know, before it got done, final 2 teams were really fun. The last 3 just really killed this one. It's still a pretty good match, and it shows how good the first part of it was. You know, PCO comes out like a complete badass. Just, you know, I actually wanted to check out some more of him after this. So, 3 1/4 there. Nothing great, but it's still pretty good stuff. Marufuji versus McGuinness. This was a technical masterpiece in a wrestling clinic. They traded hold for hold, counter for counter. Had some good, nice, big moves in there. There was one little botch, but it wasn't terrible. You know, they only had like 15 minutes maybe. In fact, if they, you know, given, you know, 2/3 of time with the last match and added it here, this would have been even better. And as it is, it's still really good. You know, I mean, went hold for hold, first half match, you know, busted out some really nice moves towards the end. The crowd was solidly split the entire time. The crowd with Marufuji being a dick, still cheering him. They're just great. I mean, they each played the crowd wonderfully here, especially Marufuji. You know, great submissions, great counters, some great moves, just an all-around great wrestling. And that equals a great match for me. 4 stars. Really good stuff here. That's our third 4-star match tonight. You know, I know it's just getting a little ridiculous, but if you've seen the show, it's pretty good. You know, I think the crowd really set this one up to 4 stars. I think the match itself, you know, probably on any other show, you know, 3 3/4. But I think the crowd was just so hot for it that it made everything they did even better. 7th match, the WXW World Heavyweight Championship, Steve Douglas versus El Generico. This was a really stiff match. You could almost sense there was a hatred between these two, and I don't even think there was a rivalry. It didn't seem like a rivalry. There was a whole bunch of head dropping, you know, many elements of strong style. There was, you know, a really nice half-and-half exchange near the end, brainbusters, swinging DDTs, Yakuza kicks, even super kicks. I mean, just, you know, the crowd was hot again. They were firmly on the side of El Generico, singing ole ole ole, you know, throughout the entire match. It was hard-hitting, very back and forth. You know, no one had the advantage for too long in this one, which is good. You know, it was not one-sided. You know, even though Absolute Andy actually cheated on the half of Steve Douglas, Generico kept fighting through it. The biggest compliment that I can give, though, you know, at the end of the day, is they told a really good story in the ring. And at the end of the day, that's all you can really ask for. And I really enjoyed the end of this one too. You know, it kind of came out of nowhere, but I thought it made sense. And you know, they were just so, you know, neck and neck, and basically, you know, seemed like tied all the way through. That's how the ending should have been. And another match I give 4 stars. You know, right after 4. And again, you know, the crowd may have played a little part of that, but it was still a really good match. It was really hard hitting and strong style for, you know, for a match that I didn't think was really going to be much of anything when I watched it, and it turned out to be a very good match. And then match number 8, the finals, the 2008 WXW 16 Karat Gold Tournament final match, Bryan Danielson versus Bad Bones. This match is just epic storytelling right here. You know, the excitement in the building was incredible. Just, wow, seeing this left me speechless. You know, it may not have been as good as Hero vs. Danielson from earlier tonight, but it was pretty close, and it had an even better story to it, because the first 2 matches, they played off the first 2 matches, and they played off the ending of the first match, and, you know, that led to here. The other problem, I thought the pop should have been bigger when, you know, one of the things happened in it, but still, they played off the previous matches perfectly, and really just left the fans with something special, just a great aurora around this. You know, the crowd popped huge for the, you know, victory. You know, think when Eddie Edwards won the ROH title huge. I mean, it was breathtaking. It was incredible. It was awesome. You know, Bryan Danielson may have been the most hated man in Germany at the time, but he delivered just 2 fantastic matches on the show. You know, Bad Bones also delivered 2 really good matches. You know, not as good as Danielson, because, you know, first match and Bad Bones' first match are way off, but I mean, Bad Bones still delivered a 4-star match in the first half. Just he had to go up against Danielson's 4 3/4. You know, this match felt like a big deal. Came off tremendously well with live audience, and it came off really well over the DVD too. And just words cannot do this justice. You owe it to yourself. Check this out along with the whole show. Match rating is, you know, 4.5. That's my review of 16 Karat Gold 2008-93. It's the best independent wrestling show I've ever seen. One of the best shows I've ever seen. Period. Besides for Dream Slam 1, I really can't think of one to top that. You know, nothing was bad. Most was great to match the year candidate material. All in all, it just felt like a really special show. A great crowd, wonderful wrestling. Doesn't get much better than that, you know, here, ladies and gentlemen. It just really doesn't. I'm honestly going to give that match or the show a 10 out of 10. You know, starting with that, you know, you could say 9.7 or something. 5 4-star matches. You know, 2 of them may have been suspect, but still, the crowd pushed them to that. And, you know, I enjoyed it, and, you know, if they weren't 5, they were at least really close. And, you know, we got 10 out of 10. I was going to go 9.75, just watching this and just realizing the crowd just extremely into this. Just a really great show, really great effort for everybody. Just so many good, you know, independent stars in this show. And, you know, just a great crowd, great night of wrestling, just excellent night of wrestling, one of the best nights of wrestling ever, in my opinion. And that's going to be it for it. So, comment, subscribe, you know, if you like my channel. If you don't like what I'm doing, tell me. Thanks again for watching this. This has been the Wrestling Renaissance, the RSTS Express Review Series 1. Peace.